Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 3, Solo Travel Australia. My name is Victoria Rose. I have been back in Australia for 2 months. For the previous 16 months, I backpacked solo around Europe, Turkey, and Asia on a mission. That mission was to prove that even if you have limited funds, i.e., if you're on an Australian age pension, it is absolutely doable for you to travel and live overseas. I did it, I proved it. Now, back in Australia, I've realized that I must do the comparison fairly. So rather than just saying, oh, Australia is expensive to live in, I need to live in Australia for at least 6 months, I've decided, under the same conditions. And those conditions are to house sit or to volunteer my services, meaning that I don't pay for accommodation, and there are times when I don't have to pay for food as well. Here I am loving being a traveler, and I want to share with you today one of the really benefits of actually traveling, because when you travel, it helps you see what you are doing, the life you've been living with new eyes. It helps to uncover not just new landscapes, but helps you to see something about you. Because one of the things is that, especially as we get older, but even the younger ones are like this also, is that as we get comfortable and settle into our routines and our habitual behavior patterns and all of those things that we believe is true. It's like we've done this, right? And underneath here, so this is ground level here. Ground level, it's a bit wonky. And underneath here, we've settled very comfortably into this sort of hole, a hole that's below ground level. Now what does that sound like? Some people call it a rut, and my definition of a rut is simply a coffin with the ends knocked out. So I choose, I decide to live before I die, because the opportunities out there for us, no matter our age, is to actually step into discovering our potential, discovering who we really are. One of those ways of doing that is becoming aware of this algebra equation that rules your life. Oh, yes, it does. It rules your life as well. Now, this equation is evident every single day. And the really good thing about travel is it helps you see with those new eyes, not just the new landscapes. It helps you see that those patterns of behavior that you had and lived every single day uh, don't work when you're in a foreign country. And it helps you to examine, is this serving me? Okay, I'm going to actually show you now what that algebra equation is. Here it is. If X, then Y. That's interesting. If X, then Y. We're doing this every single day. We see something, we hear something, we feel something. That's the X, right? And then automatically the default position that we take is the meaning that we have over our lifetime given to what X means. I know instantly that you've got this. I would like to share with you 3 examples. We always do the 3, right? Just 3 examples to help you see the importance of if X, then Y. Before we do that, I want to say that you need to have if X, then Y. Otherwise, you would not be able to live or operate as smoothly as you may or may not be operating in the world today. What I want to do with this episode is to ask you to examine your beliefs around if X, then Y. Is it true? I would like to share with you that you need to examine if your Y is actually true. Yes, you need to have the if X then Y question. If it serves you, then that's fine. If your X then Y routine behavior doesn't serve you, it stops you, then that's when we have to look at it and go, I need to do something different. I'm looking around at my life and I'm not actually 100% happy with where I'm living now, with the joy that I get from life. Oh, hang on though. You don't deserve joy, do you? That's right. You don't deserve to be happy. Because if you're happy, then that's not a good thing. I don't deserve to be happy. I know it sounds weird, but so many actually think that. Let me give you those 3 examples now. There are many examples I can give you from my travels. Today, I'm sharing one. For those of you who have been following me for almost a year and a half now as I travel around the world, and there's more to come. I want to talk about Croatia because I did have a bit of a giggle with Croatia on a number of posts. I even did a live stream about this. By the way, if you want to check out my YouTube channel, just go to Victoria Rose Solo Travel. There are over 40 videos there. Have a look at the titles and see if one appeals to you. It's in your interest and watch it. It's a whole heap of fun. So here I am in Croatia, and it didn't take me long to pick up something. And this is the thing that I had a bit of fun with. I would write posts and talk about on my live streams about the Croatian look. And the Croatian look is simply this. It was quite an obvious difference. Now, what did that mean to me? Wow, here's my belief system around a face that is not only not smiling, but is actually quite stern, with the downward of the mouth and possibly a furrowed brow. So if X, which is this facial body language, what does Y mean? Then why? Well, clearly they're not happy, and I'm talking to them right now, or I'm interacting with them, and they're looking at me in that way. It's something that I've done, or if not me, all the other people, all the other travelers, I don't like to call myself a tourist, that have been here, and they're not happy with us, even though if we weren't here, there'd be a significant portion of their livelihood would just vanish. So if X, then Y, as I've grown up with, if my boss had a grumpy face, any family member had this stern, unsmiling face, and my mother was the biggest one for that in my young life, of course, then it caused me to take a step back, to retreat and become defensive because I'm feeling threatened now. So I have to defend myself. All of this is happening underground. You're not even aware of it. Here's the deal. that Croatian person isn't even aware that you think they've got a grumpy look on their face, because they don't think they've got a grumpy look on their face. I'm just calling it grumpy. You can call it any word you want, any word that means not smiling, looking stern, even intimidating. So they're not aware that they're like that. Now, if you react to that and take on what that grumpy face means, which is, oops, I've got to take a step back here. I've got to defend myself because I'm not feeling safe. Then you lose the smile, if you even had one to start with, and you now have a grumpy look on your face. Now they see, so let's swap it. They're not aware that they've got the grumpy look in their face, but they see your grumpy look on your face. Whoa, another problem I've got to deal with here with these foreigners coming to my land. So if X, then Y. If he buys me red roses, he doesn't love me. I know that's a bit weird. If no one's called me as we're looking at our mobile phone, then I'm not loved. Or whatever it is that you're saying, please, please, please take note, because it doesn't have to be the why that you have decided X means. There are many, many different ways to have a look at why do they have a grumpy face, or whatever the issue is with the X. So that's the first point, was dealing with the Croatian look. By the way, just as an aside, once I realized what I was doing, which is I may not have reciprocated with the grumpy face, but it certainly wasn't my normal smiley face. And once I realized that, I just decided to be me. Yeah, and these people, it's the end of summer. They're actually tired, especially of grumpy and obnoxious foreigners. Here's my second example. So I have a friend who has a friend who is a fat friend. Now, don't get upset. That's what this person calls herself, apparently, according to my friend. So this woman who feels that she's fat has complained. She says, so there I am. I'm the sort of person that if I look at a lettuce leaf, I put on weight. Here she is out for lunch, and she's just had her lettuce leaf. She decided to have a cake or something, a little piece of chocolate, whatever it is. And she knows that the people that are walking by and that glance at her, so they specifically glance at her, she knows that they're thinking, well, you wouldn't be so fat if you didn't eat that fattening, crappy cake that has absolutely no nutrition. It's your fault. You're fat. Now, that probably seems a bit harsh, but I challenge you. Have you never, ever, ever seen a person who is a larger sized person who is eating an ice cream or eating some chocolate or McDonald's? I don't know. Didn't you think in your mind, well, if you're eating McDonald's or that ice cream or that chocolate, then of course you're fat. But is that true? If X, then Y. Let me swap it first, because it's also important to think of it from the other side. So apparently this fat friend is complaining about this. She can do a mind read, whether it's true or not, on what these people that are looking at her with a disapproving look on their face, what they're thinking. But when we swap it, what does this do to her actually eating her cake? It could be the only cake she's had for a month, and she's just decided to treat herself for one little tiny slice of cake because she's thinking if X then Y, i.e., if they're looking at me like that with that disapproving look, then they must be thinking, well, you deserve it. You need to look at your eating habits, lady. And how does that affect this fat friend? Well, she gets to feel guilty. I don't care what anyone says. She could not help but somewhere deep down feel a little bit guilty. And all of a sudden, that pleasure that she had from that one morsel, that tiny treat of that cake after the plate of lettuce leaves or ice, vegetarian diet, no, vegan, I should have said, then that is spoiling her enjoyment of her food. I read an interesting thought recently, and that was the way that you think the guilt you feel about what you put in your mouth does you way more damage than the actual food that you are putting in your mouth. Now, just to finish off this second example, it appears that that woman has to take medication for a medical condition. So here she is, she hates the way she looks, she's never looked like this, but she has a medical condition. So she has to take these tablets, right? So what a bind she is in. It's not because she's some piggy at the trough and has little willpower. So if X, then Y. Notice how you often, because it seems to be a human trait, even if you say, no, I don't judge, come on, I bet you do. I bet you see things and you're saying, if X, then Y. No, you wouldn't still be single if you just looked after yourself, if you just had your hair cut and wore better clothes or anything. If X, then Y. I'm going to give you my last example of how this algebra equation actually runs your life. Now, are you ready for this last? Now, I just want to do something rather special here. I'm working on all different sorts of things because it does not matter your age. We may be old, but we're not obsolete, and there is no use by date. Oh dear, and you've got to have fun, joy in the world. And we are entitled to have fun, to be happy, to be joyful, to feel good. Problem is, many do not know, men and women, what it is that they can do to not be addicted to stuff that they feel will make them feel good, but to genuinely understand what does make them feel good without the addiction. So now I'm going to share with you my last example, and my mother springs to mind here. So if X, if X, then Y. I found this out about my mother not long before she died, and I discovered that she has for her entire life been very proud of the fact that she keeps secrets. So anyone that tells her something and says, "Now this is secret, don't tell anyone," then she won't. Because if she's been told, so if X, I've been told this secret and I've been told now it's confidential, don't tell anyone, then why? Then no, I'm the why behavior is that, well, I won't because I'm proud of myself because I know how to keep secrets. There's a huge flaw with that. Like, man, a big flaw. And you know what it is, don't you? Say yes. Yes, you do. So what is the big flaw? The big flaw is this. Someone tells you something and they tell it in a very convincing way because they believe it's true. Is it true? This is the big problem. Is it true? But my mother never ever checked to see if this gossip, if this story was ever true, because she didn't like confrontation for a start. But who does, I guess? She never ever went and checked with the person, generally family members, is this true? What that meant is that she lived with knowing the secret, which is quite a thrill when you think about it. I know this. Yes, I like secrets. And I'm not going to let anyone know that I know. But she acts like it's true because you'd have to, because you believe it is true, as did the person that told you the secret. I'm sure you can see the danger here. If you've looked at my videos on my Over 60 Still Fabulous Facebook page, please go ahead and like my page. You will see that I lived with a secret until I was 38 years old, and that secret was my father was not my biological father. Now that can be quite a shock to discover when you've lived with the thought that you're living with both your parents and you've gone through all of the trials and dramas of growing up into a 38-year-old. So if X, then Y, where is it presenting? Where is it showing up in your life? Start to notice and ask yourself this question. I believe if X, then Y. So if someone's running towards me or with an angry look on their face, then that means whatever you want it to mean or whatever action you have to take. And that would be instant. You wouldn't even think about it. But notice how you respond using the algebra formula. If X, then Y. Does it serve you? Assess it. Or does it stop you? Does it stop you from discovering your human potential? Because I can guarantee that you are not living to the fullness of your human potential. It's exciting how far you can go. Are you brave enough to go there? Please, please go onto YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Victoria Rose Solo Travel. I would love to see you there and having fun with all of those. I've just got to put my glasses. Oh, look, I can see now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you to the replay viewers. I will be going live every Thursday or Friday. I haven't got it down pat yet, but I will be going live every week from now on. If you would like me to cover something that you're interested in about my travels, then please contact me. Make a comment. As I do, it is time to heart you. So here we go, the heart. If there's one thing that I have noticed as I've traveled where I have traveled, is that the world needs more heart. There are a lot of humans on this planet, but I don't see too many acts of humanity. Be one of those that does create those acts of kindness that operates from the heart. I'll see you next time. Bye.